The arena in King's Landing falls silent as Gregor Clegane, the mountain, finally falls. With his spear through his chest, he mutters his long-awaited confession. I killed Elia Martell. Oberyn, his face covered in sweat, listens in silence. His eyes don't show relief, but the satisfaction of fulfilling his promise. The crowd erupts in shock, and the nobles present exchange tense glances. Tywin Lannister maintains his composure, but everyone realizes that this was not the outcome he had hoped for. Justice had been done, and now the kingdom has witnessed the public downfall of one of its most feared men. With the Mountain's confession and death, Tyrion Lannister is immediately found not guilty of regicide. The trial by combat favored the truth, and even those who doubted Tyrion's innocence must accept the verdict. Tyrion, still in prison, is released and embraced by Jaime. You survived, says Jaime. Just barely, brother. By a long shot, Tyrion replies, wiping the sweat from his brow. Tywin's humiliation before the people and the court is evident, and the wheels of power begin to turn against him. Despite his victory in the trial, Tyrion fears for his life. He knows Cersei well and knows that she will never accept the result without reacting. She'll try to kill me again. This is just the beginning, not the end, he tells Jaime. Feeling that he is no longer safe in the capital, Tyrion seeks out Oberyn in the prince's chambers and proposes fleeing to Dorne. You saved my life, and I don't want to live through the next week to see it ended by another of my sister's traps. Oberyn listens to him in silence, then raises a glass of wine and says, Do you want asylum in Dorne? You shall have it, but on one condition. Tyrion frowns. What? Oberyn moves closer and replies firmly. You will help me destroy Tywin Lannister and Cersei. She'll hunt us down. Let's hunt her down first. Tyrion, tired of running away, agrees. You'll have your revenge, and I, my freedom. Thus begins an unexpected alliance, driven by pain, justice, and survival. The escape is orchestrated with precision. While Jaime distracts the guards at the West Gate, Tyrion and Oberyn follow secret routes to the ship that would take them. Cersei, on discovering the escape, goes into a rage. They won't get away with this, she shouts. Tywin, however, doesn't seem surprised. They're doing exactly what I would do. Aware that his sister will not rest, Tyrion travels with constant trepidation. Oberyn, at his side, seems more confident. She can send armies. But this is my game now, says the Prince of Dorne. Upon arriving in Dorne, Tyrion is greeted with curiosity and respect. Despite being a Lannister, his innocence and friendship with Oberyn ensure that he is treated as a guest and not as a prisoner. Welcome to the warmth of the South, says Doran Martell. Burn the past and feel the sun. During the banquets, Tyrion observes the Martell's subtle and refined politics. He senses that there is hope there. One night, during a conversation under the stars, he says to Oberyn, There's a woman across the sea, a queen. She can help us finish off the Lannisters. Oberyn listens carefully as Tyrion talks about Daenerys Targaryen, the dragons and her fight for justice. She wants to change the command of Westeros, and so do we, says Tyrion. But she needs allies, and we need an army. Oberyn is intrigued. A living Targaryen? With dragons? You don't hear that every day. Tyrion smiles. She's the only one who can remove my family from power without becoming something worse instead. Oberyn agrees to meet her. If she's as you say, it might be worth staking that fire. Doran Martell approves of the mission, believing that an alliance with Daenerys could bring balance to the continent. The winds of power are shifting, he says, and Dorne will not be left behind. So Tyrion and Oberyn prepare to cross the narrow sea. With renewed courage and a thirst for justice, they both see in the Dragon Queen an opportunity to rebuild the Seven Kingdoms on less cruel foundations. The journey has only just begun. The free cities welcome the pair with awe and respect. Oberyn, with his sharp tongue and natural charm, charms merchants and lords. Tyrion, with his political intelligence, opens doors and undoes traps before they form. Together, they chart a course to Meereen, where Daenerys rules with a firm hand. When they arrive, they are stopped by Naharis. "Tell me why I shouldn't cut your heads off now." Tyrion smiles. "Because we bring the key to the Iron Throne, and 3 allies you didn't know you needed." Daenerys receives them cautiously. Oberyn speaks candidly about his fight against the Lannisters and the pain his family carries. Tyrion shows knowledge of King's Landing and its power games. Gradually, she sees in them both more than fugitives. She sees allies. Over time, Tyrion earns his place as an advisor and is appointed Hand of the Queen. Oberyn takes a seat on the small council of the future Queen of Westeros, representing Dorne. Meanwhile, Tywin acts quickly to reinforce his power. He aligns House Lannister with the Tyrells by marrying Tommen to Margaery. "We unite gold and flowers," says Tywin, convinced that this link will bring stability. Cersei, however, doesn't trust Margaery. "She wants to take my place." Tywin ignores his daughter's warnings. "If Daenerys really comes, we'll need strong allies." But the winds are changing, and he still doesn't know what's coming across the sea. Daenerys finds in Tyrion and Oberyn something rare. Allies with experience, courage, and motivation. They share a plan to bring justice to the 7 kingdoms, starting with an alliance with Dorne and the North. "Divided, we will be crushed. United, we will be unstoppable," says Tyrion. Oberyn smiles. "We'll give the throne back to those who deserve it, and collect every drop of blood spilled." With the council strengthened, Daenerys feels the time has come to act. The war for the throne begins to take shape. Tyrion sets off for the north with the mission of convincing Jon Snow of Daenerys' cause. When he arrives at the wall, he is greeted with surprise and suspicion. "You again?" says Jon, remembering the dwarf he had met years before. "I didn't come to drink wine or tell jokes," replies Tyrion. "I've come to propose a new world." Little by little, Jon hears about Daenerys, the dragons, and the threat forming in King's Landing. The North will fight the Lannisters, but it needs a just reason. "We're not pawns of distant queens," Tyrion replies. "What if that queen is the only one who can save us all?" Meanwhile, Oberyn pressures Daenerys to leave Meereen. Justice cannot wait behind walls. The queen hesitates. "What if I'm not ready?" Oberyn approaches. "You have dragons, you have allies, and you have enemies who won't wait." Faced with urgency and growing support, Daenerys mounts Drogon and orders, "Prepare the ships. We're going to take what's ours." With the armies of Meereen and Dorne, she sets sail for Westeros. On the way, Daenerys is informed of the approaching battle of the bastards in the north. Without thinking twice, she changes course and flies over Winterfell with her dragons. When Ramsay Bolton's troops surround Jon Snow, the sky opens up with fire. The dragons devastate the enemy camp, and Ramsay watches the destruction in astonishment. Jon Snow looks up at the sky and mutters, "She has come." After the victory, the North rallies to Daenerys' cause. "The blood of the dragon has saved the North. Now we march with her," declares Jon. Inspired by Robb Stark's ancient uprising, the armies of the North head south. But now they're not alone. They have the dragons, Dorne, and a just cause. Sansa Stark takes Winterfell and sends letters to all the houses of the North. It's time to unite. For justice. For a new beginning. The coalition forms with strength and purpose. King's Landing is about to face something it has never seen before. Oberyn secretly travels to Highgarden and meets Olenna Tyrell in her gardens. Over wine and irony, they discuss the future. "Do you trust Tywin?" asks Oberyn. Olenna raises an eyebrow. "Trust is not something you spend with Lannisters." He proposes that Margaery leave King's Landing before the city falls. "You want me to leave the game?" Olenna smiles. "I want you to win by playing from another board." After a sharp conversation, Olenna accepts. Margaery leaves the capital and the Tyrells retreat. Tywin realizes too late. The coalition from the north, Dorne and Meereen hits King's Landing in full force. The Lannister armies are crushed, and the city gates give way. The people watch, fearing the arrival of the dragons, but Daenerys orders, "Don't kill innocents." With the surrender imminent, the nobles flee or hide. The The city falls without a prolonged siege. Tyrion enters through the main gate alongside Jon Snow. "The time of the lions is over," he says. "It's time for the dragon to reign." While the city is taken, Oberyn and Arya Stark infiltrate the Red Keep. They find Tywin in his chamber, writing a letter. "Finally," says Oberyn, "the lion is in his cage." Tywin tries to rise, but Oberyn is quicker. "You destroyed my family. Now you're going to taste your own poison." He runs him through with his blade. Jaime appears, trying to stop it, but seeing his father dead, he despairs and attacks. The two fight, and Oberyn wins easily. Arya climbs the stairs and finds Cersei. "You?" asks the queen. "The Starks always collect their debts," Arya replies, before plunging the dagger in. With King's Landing conquered, Daenerys and Jon marry. The truth about Aegon Targaryen is revealed, but it doesn't divide the couple. It strengthens them. "Together, we will rebuild this world," she says. Jon replies, "For our family, for those who died for it." Sansa remains the guardian of the North, respected by all. The threat of the White Walkers is met with a unified army, 3 dragons and 2 mounts, the king and queen. And this time, the world is not divided. With fire, ice, and honor, the kingdoms rise up, and the cycle of destruction is finally broken.